Welcome back to the Curry Gumbo's podcast review of P-Valley Season 2. Let's get into this next episode. Every episode, somebody is dying. So, who's dying episode 7?
I mean, I don't want it to be the case, but I'm worried about Grandma Ernestine. She got the COVID.
She got the vid.
And when she opens the door for Lil Murda, she's calling out for her father. Sometimes that happens when people are about to transition over to the other side. So I noticed that too in the last episode when Rome was dying. You know, there was a conversation about his mother. Little did he know he was about to go be with her.
From the beginning of this episode, I was seeing all the premonitions of death. When Big Teak was getting his haircut and the barber was like, "Oh, you looking casket sharp." Big Teak was like, "Man, live every day like it's your last." And even when they went to the restaurant and the waitress was like, "Oh, you got pretty eyes and you light skin." It's like Albie Shore came back from the dead. So it's like,
and is Albie Shore dead?
No, he's not.
Yeah, I'm like, that man is alive and well, but that you're right. Like, it's a way to attach.
Or maybe she thought she was like, "Oh, you bringing light skinned boys back or something like that." Bringing light skinned boys back.
Okay, I get it.
Like that.
I get it. Yeah, death is completely surrounding him at the very beginning of the episode when they are having this massive get together, not a mask in sight, Jesus.
The Christmas gathering, all that red and green going on.
Well,
I was like, what is this?
So he was sitting like right in front of the sun, and sometimes he would be bathed in so much light that you could only see his silhouette. And it's so like from the very beginning, he's like transitioning out of this world. When he was in the barber chair, I also noticed that the picture next to him, there was like a shadow of a devil. Did you see that?
Yeah.
And there's mention of the devil. There's a lot of red and white play in the episode. Let's get into all of that.
We can start with Roulette.
Wearing that red and white wig, she's split right down the middle. Good and evil, I guess, is what's happening with her. And it's interesting that the wig is what is split down the middle. It's like her head is split right down the middle because she has some decisions to make as far as like how she's going to coordinate this arrangement between Whisper and this man who wants to pay for sex from Whisper.
Well, I will say this reminded me of Mercedes and Autumn Nightmare, but we'll get to her that name in a minute, when Autumn was the new girl and Evan was on her because she's the new light-skinned girl, even though she couldn't really dance
at all, still can't dance.
And this episode with Roulette, I guess the guy who she gave the sexual favor to came back and he was like, "Hey, hook me up with your friend," pointing at Whisper. And he was like, "Oh, I'll give her how much money to lick her pussy." And she was like, "Wow, I wish I had the option of laying on my back rather than getting on my knees." And so you can see, to me, it kind of I went straight to colorism, her being darker skinned and doing more of the dirty job, so to speak, as opposed to the lighter skinned woman being able to just
be pleased,
relax, so to speak. Yeah. Roulette is like, well, damn, what she got that I don't have.
Yeah. I don't know if it was friendly, but it did feel competitive, the pole work that they were doing. So Whisper would be on the pole. Then here come Roulette taking off her shoes, and she's like, I can do these tricks as well. It didn't feel like peers up there. It felt like we are two people competing for attention and competing for money, which is understandable because, I mean, Mercedes was just in that situation with both of them, episode 1 or 2. And I think that is why Roulette is like making some of the decisions that she is making. Like, she understands the position that she plays in this world, and she understands the the access that her body and her beauty gives her, which isn't as much as someone like a Whisper or an Autumn Night, Nightmare, Savage,
Mm-hmm.
Trash. So yeah,
And then we got, is that Gidget's boyfriend again? The
Duffy,
white another.
Duffy, yeah, he is on some roulette. He like her.
But then I'm like, damn, I hope it's not what's his name? Derek and Keyshawn again.
I don't get abuser vibes from him.
He seemed kind of savior-ish, and I'm like, I don't know if I like this.
What about him gave you savior?
Roulette was already kind of feeling down. It's almost like he's trying to run game. She's like, "Why you trying to run game on me?"
Mm-hmm.
Then she goes on like, I'm a hoe." He's like, "I'm a hoe too." It just gave me. It's like I don't see genuine relationship. Maybe he just trying to trying to smash and that's
Yeah.
it. But I'm like, I don't really like this.
I do wonder. Well, first of all, I just don't trust. No, I don't trust any white men in this show. I do wonder, like, what are your motives? Like, make your case plain. Talk to me about what it is. What the fuck do you want? Like, we could cut the bullshit. Just tell me what it is so we can get the shit over with. I'll let you know what I'm down with. And I don't think he has done that yet. Or maybe he's just
Mm-mm.
intrigued by her and he just wants to get to know her. But I mean, we got phones. We could do that with the telephone. So I don't know. I don't trust him, but I don't trust him. I don't trust Derek. I don't trust them people that Andre is doing business with. I don't trust none of Corbin. He might as well be white. Fuck that nigga too.
Mercedes and Farrah and Cedric. He's catching on. He calls Mercedes and like, "Oh, I want you, me, you, and my wife." And she's like, "Well, what about just me and you?" He's like, "Well, my wife was really excited about the Mercedes experience." But then they do it, and then he sees his wife is excited about the Mercedes experience. He getting mad. I'm like, you said your wife was excited.
With some heterosexual men who are not as progressive as they think. When they think of a threesome, they think of two women pleasing them. And if the women are pleasing each other, they are doing so for the pleasure of the man. And it seemed like in
Mm-hmm.
this situation,
They ain't care
them
about
two,
him.
they listen, he wasn't even on the bed. They was not worried about him. They was getting down to business on their own. And I think he also saw that there was something other than strictly physical pleasure. Like they holding hands. It's like they care about
Mm-hmm.
each other. So he knows,
Kissing.
yeah, he knows what's going on. So he like, wait. I don't even think that the cheating is the issue. I think he is just mad because this isn't about him.
Yes, ego. And he not trying to pay Mercedes.
When he took that money off, he wasn't about to give it to her.
He didn't.
Yeah, you right.
She left with her shoes in her hand and her suitcase.
You could at least put some on my motherfucking gas. I don't understand what Farah is trying to do. I'm wondering, like, does she want to get caught? Is this her way to escape this marriage? Is this her way to get some attention? No one in this situation is thinking about Mercedes. And that is what is upsetting to me. Mercedes is up here thinking about Farah, about to go toe to toe with Coach. And when Coach put her ass out, Farah just hand her the shoes and go back, like, why you don't leave with her? But I know that that's a little naive of me to even suggest, but at the same time I don't think that anyone has her back in the way that she has theirs.
I guess that job is done.
Oh no, we'll see more Farah.
Well, I'm saying her job meaning her money, like
Yeah, that's true.
how's she gonna get her money?
That is very true.
Diamond, we get sexy Diamond.
Listen, I was like, I need a permission slip to watch the first part of this show. Can I do it? I'm not mature enough for this. That's what you need to know. Girl, you called it. You was right. You called it.
Diamond still got Keyshawn on his mind, even though he got Big Bone in his bed. Keyshawn is on his brain, and he can't he can't shake it.
Now, do you think that this is because he has a little tickle in his heart for Keyshawn, or because he recognizes with his powers, his like intuitive powers, that she is in need of help right now? Because at this point in the show, she is trying to escape Derek. Do you think that has anything to do with it, or both?
I think he loves Keyshawn,
Mm.
and hopefully they're going to get back together. And Keyshawn cannot leave her house. This is like a perfect example when people ask, "Oh, why don't you leave?" The man made the car so it don't drive.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn, Derek.
He also put a tracker on her phone.
Oh
Like
yeah, I
that would
knew that. I mean,
that
she
came
knew
out,
to leave the phone.
that came
I
out
when she,
earlier. So, people, I just,
when she left the phone on the bed, I was like, okay, yeah, she good,
yeah,
Keyshawn.
I think she just feels alone, because I'm like,
Yes,
man, call Wody, call Murder and T, call
I
Cliff,
don't.
call
But
them.
then I don't think Clifford would care. Well,
I
he
think he
kind of got an
would.
attitude.
I
He
think he
would care,
would.
but he kind of got an attitude. I don't think she feels like she can call them
Yeah.
because there's kind of like a little bit of tension there.
Well, where were you going? You got in the car to go where?
Anywhere, just drive out in Mississippi.
Yeah.
That's what she going out Mississippi. We see she still got the gun. She still got Autumn Nightmare's gun. What's she gonna do with the gun? She gonna shoot Derek? She gonna pistol whip him?
Listen, the time for that was when you found out he had twisted that boy elbow like he
Exactly.
was wringing out a damn towel. What you need to do is call Clifford and be like, "Hey, Big Mama, come help a sister out. I'm sorry about that shit." And I think the reason why I'm stuck on that diamond scene when he is doing what he doing with Miss Big Bone, honey. That thing thangin'. Anyway, when he sees Keyshawn's face on Big Bone's face, it didn't feel like Keyshawn was calling out his name in pleasure. Like it didn't feel like ecstasy. It didn't feel like she was calling out his name at the height of passion. It felt like a call for help to me. I think he knows that something isn't right. I think he, because why now? Why flashbacks of Keyshawn now?
Because he's wishing that he was on top of Keyshawn. One, and I'm thinking that flashback was the last interaction they had at the dollar store when she was
Yeah,
trying to get in and she had her mask and she was like, Diamond,
you right.
Diamond.
You right. You
And
right.
so that's the last time they spoke.
I'm gonna need for
But
Big
Big
Bone to mind her
Bone,
business. I was like, she CIA? Somebody tell me now, because I watched it earlier this morning and I was like, some people watch it at midnight when that thing come out, and so I was like, somebody ruin it for me now. Is she about to figure out what done happened? Because she on uh, creeping around his little altars and stuff. I'm like, baby, I need you. Why you brought her to your house?
Diamond seems like a nice guy. I don't think.
He ain't
I
stupid
mean,
though.
no, he doesn't seem. I mean, where they gonna do it? Like in
At
a
her
car?
house. Shit, at the club, I don't give a damn. Just not at your house where you got the trinkets and shit, the spiritual trinkets, the magic going on in there. Not just in that bedroom, but in them other places. What? Look, I need for you to look. We got to protect Mercedes and you and Big L.
So Big Bone kind of know what's up because she even says, "What happened? You don't do security at the bank? Why? Because you tried to save one of them girls that didn't want to be saved."
I think something else is going on with her. I think she's working for somebody, the law, or somebody from,
So why you think she messing with Diamond? You think she just
because
because
she,
he not? he not into her. It seems like she like him way more than he like her.
Yes.
And I'm like, in that type of situation, it's like, I mean, he don't like you.
I think that she knows more than she puts on. I think she is kind of like a Whisper in a way. I think
Mm.
Whisper has access to other realms. I think that Big Bone probably has access to other realms, not spiritual realms, but I think she has access to some
Mm.
information. I'm getting those vibes. I'm getting those vibes, which is why I want Diamond to be careful. I need for him to like what's your intention with her? Figure that out.
So, do you think Big Bone is gonna recognize that ring somewhere? Is she CIA and be like, I know where that ring
She
is.
either CIA, FBI, one of Montavious' colleagues, or she worked for the Promised Land people trying to build a casino. Now that's it.
Okay.
Her strictly liking him. I don't think that's it. Katori, give me a call and let me know what's going on. I know you don't have my number, and I know that if you did, if I had your number, I know that I would be blocked. But give me a signal. Give me something.
Put it in the comments.
Put it in the comments,
Is Lakeisha Savage Autumn Nightmare a good businesswoman?
y'all. I don't give a fuck about Lakeisha Savage, Autumn, Nightmare, Nighttime, Night Riders, Low Riders. Fuck that hoe.
So she got her 10 million. Is is she gonna help out the girls at the paint?
No.
So what's gonna happen? You
Because she
think
was
she
in the
just
red. She was in the red. She was in the
she
red,
was in
dear.
all red.
She was in the red, head to
Wig,
toe.
lips, bra and panties red. I was like,
Red.
damn. I
Red,
never
red,
matched the bra and panties with the outfit.
red. Shout out to Fiona Apple. Shout out to Capri Fernandez. For those who know, you know. Red. I don't like that hoe, is what I'm here to tell you. And I don't understand why Andre was in all white like he the good guy. That nigga ain't good. Why is this show trying to convince me that he's good? Tell me that. Somebody figure that out. Drop that down below in the comment. I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of it. So sick of this hoe. That's what he is, a fucking hoe. Living off your fucking uncle money. Bitch, you tired. Fuck that nigga.
Well, Andre and Haley finally had sex.
And it was boring vanilla sex. I could have fast forwarded through that shit. The sex I was interested in was fucking Diamond, and I was like, my God. And Farrah and Mercedes. Shit.
Oh yeah.
And I was hoping that Big Teak and Lil Murder was gonna do something, but they didn't. Shit. I don't give a damn about a goddamn nightmare and a whack nigga.
You want to get into Terica?
A baby done got into her. We don't need a baby is all in through there.
So what's gonna happen? Shell is bad, like spoiled oranges, molded oranges in the fridge. Mercedes goes to the house. Hey, I got groceries. I can help. You've been drinking. You need a program. And Shell just like, all I need is a job. That's the only help I need. And then Mercedes is like, well, I can take care of Terica while you figuring things out. And of course, Shell is like, no. And Mercedes is like, listen, I'm not trying to like steal custody legally. She's your child. I'm not trying to take that. I'm just trying to help. Like, I'm here.
Yeah.
But Shell ain't having it.
See, I don't know if Shell is an example of people who are just one paycheck away from destruction. And so,
I think it's more than one paycheck. I think it was a lot of paychecks.
Yeah, because but I mean, like she still has her house. I get the feeling that she's
depressed too. So
yeah.
she lost her job and she's spending all the money on the alcohol. So
okay. So
maybe if she bought some groceries, she wouldn't. If she used the alcohol money for the groceries, she would have more than spoiled oranges in the fridge.
And I think that that's one of the reasons why people have to find their purpose outside of what pays them money. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? I think that there are some people when they lose their jobs. I think I don't I'm sure there are studies that have been done, but when some older folks retire and they're really up in age, as soon as they retire, it's not long before they
They
pass.
die.
And
Mm-hmm.
I think some people want to work just for that purpose.
They
And
need to be busy. People, there's a lot of people who they don't. All they know is to work. They don't know how to, I guess, fulfill themselves in other ways. Because when you hear people say, if like, oh, well, retire, like, what am I going to do? I can think of 10 things I would do
well,
if I have to go to work every day.
I think that this place that we live in doesn't allow for you to explore other things other than work. Sometimes when you are of working age, I can see how attractive it is to just work, 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 stack money, save money, save money. When you are doing that, how are you making time for things that fulfill you in other ways? You know what I'm saying? Like I sometimes with any passion project, I feel like I'm stealing time away from other stuff because with the price of life and with how much
Yeah.
people get paid, a lot of times you don't have time to figure out what your passion is, what you enjoy. So I wonder if Shell is like that, like so much of her life went into being a mom, went into being a working mom, that now that she doesn't have that. And I think she also is kind of losing her grip on Terica because Terica is at that age where
Mm-hmm.
you ain't really gotta, tuck her in at night. You know what I'm saying? Like
No.
she can, so.
Even when Mercedes got to the door and Shell was like, Turk at one of her friend's house, and Mercedes said the name, and Shell was like, who that? And
She
she was
don't
like, oh,
even
never
know. She
mind.
has no clue
Never
where
mind.
Terica is. She has no clue where she is.
I think it's also about the image and the lifestyle you want.
Mm-hmm.
So she had this husband and this house and this family, even though it wasn't like the perfect scenario, but it was picture perfect in a way of like, this is my husband, this is my home, this is my child, this is where we live. This is it's my status, this is who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like when that is taken from you, it's like, who are you?
Mm-hmm.
Without your husband died, your child
Mm-hmm.
is out, and your job is gone. Who are you?
Yeah.
On to Big Teak. He visits his childhood home and has a flashback, which he later explains. Do you think there were people in that house, or was the house abandoned?
I don't know. I think there were people in that house. I don't know though. I don't know now.
He walked in. Little Murder's like, oh, he probably gonna get some weed or something. Then he go, well, someone did open the door, right?
I don't even remember now.
I mean, I
But
don't.
also, like, we see the image of Montavious in that club, and we know that he is dead. So I wouldn't put it past this show that like someone opened the door, but it was someone from another place, not this earth.
Yeah,
You
because I'm
know.
thinking like when he was walking through the house, and first you see like the kids watching TV, and then you hear commotion, and you see somebody on the bed, looks like they on drugs, and you
Mm-hmm.
just get all these different images. And thinking about it, I'm like, well, was any of that real?
Mm-hmm.
And then the last image is like he's opening the closet and he sees a boy covered in blood in the closet. And so I got like that wasn't real. We realized that was him
Mm-hmm.
younger. But I'm thinking it was any of it real.
Yeah.
And did he go back to his home to kind of like say goodbye,
I
make
think
peace
so, and
with
I
his childhood home?
I think so, and to at least confront it, to at least confront it, and whether or not it's real to us, it's real to Teak. Like that little boy in the
Mm-hmm.
closet is real. Those people in that home, they're real.
Well,
I
I'm saying real because that was his family.
I'm leaning more towards it's not. They were not real for us because
Mm-hmm.
no one spoke to him. No one did anything. Like
No.
no one spoke to Lil Murda. No one stopped him from doing it. Lil Murda literally has a gun in his hand and no one
Mhm.
screams, no one says anything. So I think that we are deep in Teek's head at this moment.
He explains to Little Murder that was, that was his home, and a lot of bad things happened in his home. Little Murder's trying to get him to just like forget about it, don't worry about it. That was all in the past. And Big Tika's like, you can't just shake that off.
Yeah. He
So Big
kept
Tika,
getting
oh, go ahead.
he kept giving you hints that he wanted this to
And
end, you know, when was when he said that what his I won't say what his mother did to um his
his
sisters and
siblings,
brothers,
yeah.
but he was saying that blood was flowing fast as the river in front of us, and then
Mhm.
he gets up and walks to the river, and I'm like, okay, what you doing? You know, I'm nervous at this point, and I think Murda's suspicion is growing more and more and more. I wonder to a certain extent if he always knew that Teak planned on harming himself or planned on just going deep into a depressive state, because he keeps saying like, well, there's nothing to do, I'll just hang out with you. Like
Yeah.
it's like
He
Big
didn't want to
Teak
leave
has
him
been
alone.
trying to drop him off the entire day, and Murda's like, no, I'll just hang out. Just hang
Well,
out.
Murder did say, he was like, if he leaves him alone, he's gonna get deep into his head.
Yeah.
So I think he knew he was gonna like go in a depressed state, but I don't think he thought he would take his life.
I think that we see that visually when they're in that wing spot. And
Mhm.
there is the show played with like light and shadows quite a bit. Teak is like blanketed in shadow. Like he is just
Mhm.
completely in the dark. There's a sliver, a deli slice of light that is hitting like the right side of his face. Just a little bit. And with Murda, he's like, a quarter of his face is in shadows, but most of it is in the light. Some of his arm is in the shadow, but most of his body is in the light. And so I took that to mean like some of this depression, some of this pain that both of them share, like it's in both of them, but it is really consuming Teak. It is
Mhm.
really consuming him. Now, there is a little bit of light, there is a little bit, but it is not winning the fight with this darkness. It was beautifully shot. Did you feel that way? Like, I just felt like the scenes with Teak and Murder were just beautiful.
Yeah. Even at the wing spot when Teak was asking about Uncle Clifford,
Yeah.
and he asked in a way where it was like, okay, almost like, not I'm gonna say you have my permission, but it was like, you know what, it's okay, go ahead. I'm not gonna be here, so tell me about him
Yeah, Teak is
or her.
wonderful. I mean, we just met him. We literally just met him, and I am sad that he
Mhm.
is gone. We've known Rome for a little bit. When he left, I was like, well, people, all right,
Mhm.
what we eating for dinner? Like Big Teak is had a very big presence on the show, and I think that that speaks to a lot. I think that speaks to the writing. I think that that speaks to the actor. It also speaks to the hold that Big Teak has on Murda.
Why didn't Lil Murder get out the car?
He's hoping that if I'm here, he's not going to do it. Two, we keep getting conversations about Big Teak being in the hole,
Mm.
like in solitary confinement. And,
Mhm.
when we see that little boy in the closet, he's alone. I think there is a sense of loneliness that is one of the reasons for Big Teak's depression. And I think this was a way. I think Lil Murda knows that in a way, and he's like, I'm not gonna leave you alone. Like you're
Mm.
not gonna be alone with me.
Murder finds himself at Uncle Clifford's house.
Oh, I knew he was on his way there. One, I'm concerned that I'm like, how is this gonna look? Are people gonna think that he murdered Big Teak. Especially if there's a tape out there.
Oh.
If there's a tape out there of them being intimate with each other, are they going to think that you murdered him because you didn't want the information to get out, or was this just an act of passion, a crime of passion rather? And you've got blood on you. You were in the car. You have touched this gun. You touched it because you brought it in the house to give to Teak,
I didn't think about
So
that.
what? So how is this going to look? And I think that forensics, like, people know how,
When it's a
when it's a
self-inflicted,
yeah, people
yeah,
know. And so I'm hoping that he's going to be okay legally. I hope he's going to be okay, because mentally, spiritually, he is
he's
wrecked.
not okay.
Not okay. That his literal words from the show.
So what's Clifford gonna do?
Well, I think all of them are going to catch COVID.
That's what I was thinking too. I'm like, honey, Miss Ernestine got COVID.
Yeah. And I think that he's
And
going.
so do Toy.
Arrest this girl. I want her out. I want her out. You done gave Ernestine the Vita Loca. I need you gone. If Toy got it, that health
Inspector got it
she
too.
got it.
We knew it wasn't no allergies.
Man, so tired of her. Hey y'all, hope you enjoyed the show. Hit us up on Instagram at Curry Gumbo. Hope to see you next week. Bye.